Hi, welcome back. So today is a full moon tonight. It is the night of September 1st, so it is going to be full moon is I think technically at like 1:20 something a.m. on the 2nd, but tonight is when it reaches 100%, so that's when I'm doing all of my full moon things. So first I just wanted to go over some things about the full moon that falls in September. It typically is recognized as the harvest moon. However, the harvest moon is the full moon that is closest to the autumn equinox or Mabon, which falls on September 22nd, I believe, this year. So the full moon at the beginning of October will actually be the technically correct harvest moon. So otherwise, the September full moon is just known as the corn moon. So the full corn moon is just exactly how it sounds. Like that is the moon that like farmers and the Native Americans would be typically harvesting all of their corn. That's also where the harvest moon gets its name from, because when with the daylight being so, the sun going down so early, getting closer to the equinox, the farmers would use the light of the full moon under the harvest moon to do all of their harvesting of their crops late into the night, when before electricity was a thing. They would use the light of the moon. So today I have tea boiling, so that's gonna whistle here in a minute because I like tea. But tonight, I typically would be burning a full moon incense blend. I have some here, but I'm going to go over and make some more to kind of replenish my stock because it's a little low. So we're gonna jump right into that, and then I'm also gonna make an oil blend and then go over some other things that you could do during the full moon. Some things that I like to do during a full moon. I'm gonna grab my tea. Okay, so my full moon blend, it's a loose incense. If you never used a loose incense before, it's, if you ever smoked a hookah, you get those little coals that you use for like your hookah smokings. But that is what you would use to smolder a loose incense blend. So come a little tube like this. I have some warming up over here already. So I'm just gonna grab a little spoon. I honestly don't know if that's lit all the way. It'll get there. Yeah, so we're gonna go over making some of this now. So there are 4 ingredients. We have sandalwood, frankincense, gardenia petals, and rose petals. So sandalwood, frankincense, gardenia petals, and rose petals. So I wanted to kind of break down the properties of each of these ingredients and kind of go over why they're used in a full moon blend. So we're going to start with sandalwood. So the recipe calls for 2-part sandalwood. It does call for white sandalwood. I only have red, and it's going to be well enough. But white sandalwood is usually used for during full moon rituals, along with frankincense. But white sandalwood is a feminine herb. It is ruled by the moon and also ruled by water. Each herb has like a planetary and an elemental ruler. So white sandalwood is what really calls for like a full moon incense. But I only have red. The only difference is that it is ruled by Venus. So that is just putting more love and grace into like our blend rather than it being completely ruled by the moon. But it is still ruled by water, and it is still a feminine herb or wood thing. So I'm gonna grab a little mortar and pestle. Some measuring spoons. These were my grandpa's. I got these when he passed away a few years ago and we went through his house. I like having my grandpa's stuff. So that was just a fun little side note. All right, so it calls for 2 parts sandalwood. So I'm just gonna grab, let's just do a teaspoon because I don't need a whole bunch. So we're just gonna get 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. Okay. Next up is frankincense. So frankincense is a resin. It's essentially a sap. Ooh, I should have looked up what kind of tree it comes from before I started this. You probably smelt it in church though. Frankincense and myrrh is a really common blend in pretty much any religion. But frankincense is used in protection blends and heightens your spirituality. And it's kind of like a catch-all, like any blend that you need like protection for, or really anything frankincense can go into. It's a very general purpose herb. So it's 2 parts of frankincense. So again, we're just going to do 2 teaspoons. So we got 2 parts sandalwood, 2 parts frankincense. The next is Gardenia Petals. With some old tulip petal on it. So Gardenia is also feminine and ruled by the moon, and is a water, is ruled by water as well. Pretty much any white flower is going to have moon properties in it. Like if it, like no matter what it is, and we'll get into some other herbs and oils and stuff when we make the oil blend here in a little bit. But any white flower is going to be good for moon workings. So this calls for just a 1/2 part. So of the Gardenia petals. Some other properties are it brings love, peace, healing, and again heightens your spirituality. So 1/2 teaspoon. I'm just gonna eyeball that. A little more. Let's call that 1/2 teaspoon. And then the last part is just a 1/4 part of rose petals. These were baby little rose buds that I picked up, but they're pretty much only petals that I used all the full buds during the winter solstice. Hold on for Yule. We'll get there in like a couple months. I don't know what year it is. Just a 1/4 part. So we just want a 1/4. Just a little bit more. I'm just gonna grind everything together. Need a little more pestle. You can use a little food processor too. I've totally done that. I've worked with like pine resins that are real sticky, and it just wasn't doing it to try to do it in a mortar and pestle. So I totally used one of our smaller food processors to grind everything up and mix everything into. Totally pissed off husband, but it's totally fine. Like, it's fine. We got a bigger one after that, so not a big deal. But yeah, so that is our full moon incense blend. So I'm just gonna put all that in here. You can burn these on the full moon. Who knew? Just better connection with the moon and its properties. Full moon is all about like you're at the height of your power. it's a really good time, and you just want to harness all that you can with it. Yay! All right. Done with herb stuff. Oh, my tea. All right. Jade Citrus Mint, hashtag Tivana. All right, gonna move on to our oil blend. So depending on what you want to do with your oil blends, a lot of the times, like I will either just like anoint myself with them, or I will put them in an oil diffuser just to have my home smell like that blend, or to just harness that power that is going on out there into my home. So you can kind of do whatever you want with them. I have a few like lava bead jewelries. If you know what lava beads are, they're tiny little black beads that are real porous, and they're natural like diffusers themselves. So you might see like bracelets, they probably have like the chakra stones on them and whatever, but you can always put like the essential oils on those. So a few things about essential oils before we get started on that one though. They can be kind of harsh on your bare skin, and they can be kind of irritating just depending on how pure they are. Like for me, I can put them right on my skin. I don't have very sensitive skin though, so if I ever have any kind of essential oil, I just like dab it on my wrist and like on my neck or anything. It doesn't typically bother me. But for my husband, he has very sensitive skin. So whenever I make him a blend or want to give him any kind of oil for him to like dab and wear and everything, I usually will dilute that with a carrier oil. Some good carrier oils I typically use would be like grapeseed oil is a good carrier oil, jojoba oil, olive oil, and sunflower oil, kind of just depending on like what you want to do with it. Any kind of like masculine property that I'm putting into it, I'll typically use sunflower oil just because the sun, the god, masculine energies. But typically with like a full moon oil, I'll just use olive oil, whatever we have in the kitchen. But I actually don't have any on stock, so this is really exciting because I actually get to make some. So what we have in here is rose oil, sandalwood oil, and jasmine oil. So very similar to what our incense blend was. Two of the components we've already gone over, rose and sandalwood. And then jasmine is going to be the new one, so I'm going to grab some stuff. So you can probably go to like Whole Foods or like a Fresh Thyme or something like that and like buy little bottles. You can find some like that, or there'll be some that have like little like droppers on them. Whenever I run out of an essential oil, I will always just wash out them, take the label off, and reuse them to make oils in the future. So that's just an old one that I have laying around. That's not where that went. And then we have rose, jasmine, and sandalwood. So we have Rose Absolute. This one is already in, so this is already diluted because it says it is in jojoba oil already, so we don't need to worry about diluting that guy. Same with the Jasmine Absolute. It is already in jojoba oil, so those are already pretty well diluted. The Sandalwood, this is a brand, like these guys I got at like a Fresh Thyme or a Whole Foods, like some kind of like organic grocery store, farmer's market type deal. That's where I got those ones. Aura Cassia is the brand, Auracacia. I'll put it in the description. And then the oils that I usually typically use are the Sun's Eye oils. I find these at some of the metaphysical stores around like where I live. You can find them on like Amazon. They're more fragrance oils, even though it says concentrated essential and fragrance oils. It's mainly just for fragrance. Like if you're trying to use these for like any kind of medicinal aspects, these guys are more expensive. So these would be used for like more of the aromatherapy, and they actually have more of those actual like medicinal plant properties in them. These guys are more just smells because they're only like $7.50, but whatever. Okay. So let's pop this guy open. and it's 2 parts rose. So I'm gonna just put like, it's 2, 1, and 1. Let's do like 50 drops. I'll speed this up too, so don't worry about it. Because oils take a while to come out. Okay, so I only did 40 because that filled that up way more than I was anticipating. That's 2 parts rose, 1 part sandalwood. So we did 40 to 20. And then 1 part jasmine. So we haven't gone over properties of jasmine yet. Again, it's a white flower, so good for moon. It still is a feminine, still ruled by the moon and water. So all of the properties that go into what we were trying to harness with making like a full moon blend. So 1 part of this guy, or gal, if you want to get technical, I guess. So another 20, another 20 drops of jasmine. Okay, put my little stopper back on. Give it a little shake. And there's your full moon blend. Go ahead and put a label on that so you know what it is, so you know when to use it. Something else that I do with essential oils, I make fragrances. You can get little spray bottles like this. I need to refill this. This is my Scorpio blend. Ooh, Scorpio's coming up in a few months. Like, we can talk about that soon. But so you can get a little spray bottle like this, again, at like any kind of like on Amazon, whatever. I feel like I got those probably at Fresh Time as well. But same kind of concept. Like, you're gonna have to find like what like oils you want to put in there, and they don't have to be like any kind of magic or anything. You can do whatever you want, but you're going to want to use like organic distilled vodka. It is scentless or odorless. It dries quickly, and it's a preservative for the oils to be suspended into. And I'll typically do anywhere between like 60 and 90 total drops of whatever kind of fragrance I do it for. That something this size, I think this is 4 ounces. So of the oils in there, and then give it a good shake. Fill the rest of that up with vodka. I feel like you can also use like a bourbon or a whiskey if you want more of like a more earthy undertone to it too. But with those darker liquors, I just didn't want to keep spraying that on things. I wear white sometimes, so I use vodka. Colorless, odorless. Don't tell anyone it's vodka when you're just carrying it around in your purse or whatever. But I like to use those for like any kind of like that was a Scorpio blend. I'm a Scorpio, so just my own personal scent. But yeah. So other things that I like to do on the full moon is make moon water. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is literally just, I take a big mason jar. This is what, a half gallon? These half gallons, husband. This big one?
Yeah, I think a half gallon.
Yeah, half gallon. Fill it up with tap water or whatever kind of water source you want to, and you're literally just gonna put it outside under the full moon all night. And it's going to harness all of the energies and the powers of the full moon, and before the sun comes up in the morning, pull it back inside. I keep it in my fridge. I like to make teas with it. If I just need a little boost in the morning, I'll just take a swig, and when you do that, it's all the intention behind it. So you're really just intending to just take that power of the full moon like into your person. It's just something fun. Do what you want, but feel how you want about. It's always something fun that I've done for a couple years at this point. Like every month, I'll make just a jar of moon water. Make my tea with it. I usually just put some of it right into my kettle and just use it for tea. So if you're wanting to have like a full moon party, you want to I usually I have parties of one. I'm pretty much a hermit, like husband's here, but pretty much a hermit. So I usually just want to put on some music and dance around and just raise energy. It's been a pretty chill day, so like I'm just kind of relaxing on the full moon, not like I'm harnessing my energy into putting into my crafts right now. So I'm just kind of reserving it all. Other good things that you can do during a full moon would be to any kind of divination. The full moon is really at the height of its power, so think of it that way. So like any kind of connection to like spirit or your spirituality or what have you, it opens those doors. So I'll typically do like a couple of tarot spreads if I'm feeling it, if I just have a question that I want to get into, and we'll do tarot in another video. Like we've already been talking for like 20 minutes, so we're not going to do tarot tonight, but we will another time. And then also if you're into crystals, you can charge your crystals out on your windowsill or just any kind, or in the window or outside under the full moon. Just if you do any kind of crystal workings. I have like a small collection that I like to carry with me. I have a quartz pendant that I wear pretty regularly, so I'll probably grab that and put that outside with my moon water tonight, just to recharge it and harness its power. You can also use moon water to charge your crystals in as well. Like you can just soak them or cleanse them in the moon water like overnight, and that will recharge them, and voila. So yeah, that was fun. So we went bug. So yeah, we went over September full moon things, full corn moon, and then made some blends. It's just things that I like to do. That coal apparently didn't light, so that's a bummer, but whatever. Maybe it just wasn't supposed to be that smoky in here, who knows? Husband's making dinner, so I'm gonna let him do that and kind of give him back the kitchen. I've kind of occupied it all evening, made some candles earlier. Probably see that video later too. But yeah, so that was fun. Thanks for coming. Bye.